Alright, yeah, I'm James IZ and I have a dry booger that's stuck to my nose and it won't come out. Anyways, yeah, so I got this video idea from Cheeto because he's been, documenting, like the downfall of BetterHelp, or he's been helping expose the service called BetterHelp. Now, if you don't know what BetterHelp is, then you probably don't watch YouTube videos, because I swear every, YouTuber and their mother was sponsored by BetterHelp at some point in time. It's basically just a commercialized fast food therapy type of thing, where it's like online, sign up for like a therapist, and, there's just thousands of them out there for some reason. And the reason that is that from these videos from Cheeto is that he's claiming that basically there's no there's no real hiring process for, or any sort of background checks for hiring therapists. So they just so you could sign up as a therapist on BetterHelp, and you don't need any sort of degrees, you don't need any sort of paperwork to prove that you're an actual licensed therapist, basically. And there's a bunch of horror stories here on TikTok that I'm about to watch, because I don't really know much about BetterHelp, and I think the whole therapy, the whole therapy industry is just a scam anyways, but let's get on with it, right?
Here is my BetterHelp horror story number 2. I was actually doing pretty well emotionally, so I was just
okay, wait, so this isn't her first story here. This is a second horror story from BetterHelp. So she didn't learn her lesson the first time.
About the fact that I was trying to buy a house and it was stressful. And that's all I really had to say. She was like, anything else? I was like, actually, you know what? Everything else in my life is going pretty well. I'm doing pretty awesome.
Okay, well then why do you need a therapist then, bitch? She really thinks that she needs a therapist because it's stressful buying a house. What are we doing? What are we doing? This isn't a horror story. You're just a what?
And then at one point she was like, well, it sounds like this housing thing is stressing you out. Have you ever considered giving up?
I would have said the same shit. Kill you.
The second time I tried BetterHelp, I had a white lady therapist.
Again, what is up with you people? Bro, second time?
No, it was fine for a minute, but then she started asking me to send her pictures of my family.
Yeah. There's no background checks. They don't do any sort of background checks, so you just imagine your therapist turns out to be a serial killer.
All the time, I'd tell her something, she'd be like, send me a picture of your dad.
What?
Show me a picture of your mom.
Huh?
And I'm like, what? I don't know if you're building a shrine or something, lady, but I'm not sending you pictures of my family. And she kept doing it. She kept being like, just send me a picture of your cousin. Send me a picture of your sister. Eventually, I just sent her a picture of Morgan Freeman and Michelle Obama. And I was like, that's my mom and dad.
That's funny. That's funny.
And you know what this white lady said? Beautiful family.
That's cat, bro. You should have recorded that, bro. Come on. What are you doing? You should have recorded that.
I just want to let everybody know that I got offered
this chick definitely needs a therapist.
Sponsorship. And I'm not saying this as a flex. I'm saying this as do not use BetterHelp.
I don't understand. Why are you recording the video like this? Why are you recording it like this?
How many years do you think it's going to be before we see a true crime documentary about BetterHelp?
Okay, I keep trying to do this.
A true crime documentary about BetterHelp. Isn't true crime, just based off murders or some shit? Or I could be wrong, but maybe not like a true crime documentary, or just a documentary that's exposing the inside workings of BetterHelp. That's that's a better way of describing it. But okay.
Under 60 seconds. So about 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to start therapy. My insurance at the time did not cover my therapy, so I decided to try BetterHelp despite everybody telling me not to. It was much cheaper than regular therapy. I think it's $80 per session.
Yep, fast food therapy. They just commercialized it. Bro, this is what I mean. If you go to BetterHelp, you don't need a therapist. Bro, you BetterHelp shouldn't exist.
Regular therapy is about 100 to 200 plus per session if you have a good, decent therapist. So I was paired with somebody who lived in rural South Dakota, which again is a little strange because I live in Brooklyn, so we can't really relate on that much. She had 8 Rottweilers who were barking the entire time, and I'm a huge dog lover, but don't really want that during my therapy session. Then she proceeds to tell me that
it just sounds like you need to buy a dog. Maybe that's your therapy.
I am so glad that we are outing BetterHelp. You would not believe the experience I had with them. 2019, when I was experiencing the worst of my eating disorder, I had not opened up to a soul about it. I decided for the first time to try and advocate for myself. I downloaded BetterHelp. I got set up with this woman in America, and they said that she was like an eating disorder specialist, and I thought, oh great, okay, someone who'll actually get it. I started explaining to her like my symptoms, my thoughts, and how awful my life was because of it. She said something to me like, oh, is your BMI really that low that you're experiencing all these things? And I thought, right, that's not relevant. I didn't even acknowledge that. But then I did tell her how much weight I had lost. I didn't tell her where my weight was at. It could have been anywhere on the BMI scale, but from what she had said earlier, she was assuming that it was like super low. Anyway, what she
I don't think like an eating disorder specialist that lives in America should be giving any sort of advice about eating shit, you know, to people that live in different countries. Yeah, that was kind of stupid because I think the accent is like Irish. Maybe I'm not racist. I'm not going based off the fact that like she's white. The accent sounds, you know, Irish. So I'm pretty sure that the quality of their food is much better than it is in America. So if you have like an eating disorder there, like I don't even think eating disorders should even exist outside of like the United States. Because here in America, they specifically designed the food to where it's like, yeah, you kind of do get addicted to eating the shit, honestly. But okay.
This video about to get real shady, so I apologize in advance. To everyone tagging me in the video of Israel partnering with BetterHelp, which is a therapy organization that provides therapy. I see it. Thank you for tagging me.
Wait, the country of Israel?
This calls for a larger conversation. I have been openly critical of BetterHelp for years now, and this does not shock me at all, and it shouldn't shock you either. They have very unethical practices, and they don't even have fully licensed therapists for the most part.
We know.
Anybody can become a therapist.
We know.
I've heard horror stories from BetterHelp. People's therapists falling asleep. People's therapists like being rude, taking therapy appointments in their cars, like the whole nine. We can talk about BetterHelp all day. However, Karma, I think that there's a more important conversation to be had because last night a therapist, and I'm not trying to be shady, a therapist told me that they were afraid to speak up for Palestine because they were afraid that people would come for their license. I'm gonna say this right now. First off, we have a code of ethics to follow. One of them pillars being of social justice, meaning we stand up.
Okay, all right. And then this mother goes on to talk about Palestine and Israel. Okay, I do think it's a little bit strange that BetterHelp did partner up with Israel. You know, that's a tad bit alarming there. But then like you go off on like a tangent because one of your therapists didn't put in like their 2 cents on like the whole conflict that's been going on for 7 years. That neither of us like nobody here watching, like probably most people here watching wasn't even alive when that shit even first started. Second off, it's like who cares what your therapist thinks about what's going on over there? Like, that's your therapist. Like, you're supposed to be talking about you. You're there to fix your own problems, no? Bro, what the f*** is wrong with you people? Like, no wonder that, like, you're over here, you know, getting therapy. F*** people. Because you're over here f***ing worried about shit that's outside of you instead of worrying about the shit that's going on with yourself. What the f*** is up with these people? F***ing making me disgusted.
I think BetterHelp horror stories is trending right now, which is awesome because I totally have one for you guys. So it was a couple of years ago. It was actually mid-pandemic, and I, like many other people, was having a complete and total mental breakdown. And so I logged into my weekly therapy session just to. All
right, so like these people really are so mentally weak that they sit in the house for one day too long and they're just having a mental breakdown. No wonder services like a BetterHelp exist, huh? Because these people are soft.
And my therapist, Amanda, logs in and she has cut herself some baby bangs. Like, they're like this short, and like, I know she cut them herself because it was pandemic and like salons weren't open, right?
I mean, she could have, you know, like she could have been, you know, cool with like her salon hair plate, whatever. You don't even know because you're probably socially inept to understand what the f I'm talking about. Never mind.
And like, she's a millennial, like we're the same age. We don't get baby bangs because like we are mentally.
This is her horror story. So your horror story is that your therapist you bought for $80 off of BetterHelp had baby bangs, and is this seriously your whole story?
We need to talk about BetterHelp.
and this is not an
Bro, do you notice that like these chicks have like the septic nose piercing, and like they all have the common thing, like everyone here that needs therapy just has the septic nose piercing. I just wanted to point that out. Next, okay.
However, there has always been something about BetterHelp that has rubbed me the wrong way, and I finally figured out what it is. Call me old school, but I just do not believe that effective therapy can take place in a chat room.
Yeah, just call me old school, but I don't think a therapist should meet up with their clients over Zoom. No shit. Everyone here watching this video would also agree with you, okay? Like, they commercialized a therapy and they got away with it. They really got away with it because people like you exist. The fuck?
If y'all know me, you know that mental health is super fucking important to me.
And like you see that right there, that's the problem with today's people in today's society, is that like they take their mental health way too seriously. They just need to start taking it less seriously. Relax.
This is outside of my like usual type of content, I guess, on here.
I know that you guys love it when I tell you story time, so today I'm gonna tell you about my
what the Sigma? What the Sigma? What the Sigma? What the Sigma?
A couple months go by, it's the day my mom went with me for my first appointment.
Oh my god, bro, this is so boring. Alright, so what I got from that is that, alright, yeah, so BetterHelp is just a load of bullshit. Don't use their shit, and I don't give a f. I'm throwing away a sponsorship here. I don't give a sh. I probably wouldn't even take the sponsorship from them in the first place if I was even offered one. Anyways, fellas, if you learned anything new from this video, make sure to leave a like. If I somehow made you laugh, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel and everything. I'll see you later. Just get out of my face, bro.